The Senate will take up another measure designed to hold the administration accountable, the Bipartisan Congressional Trade Priorities and Accountability Act. This bipartisan bill is about a lot more than just expanding Congress' oversight authority. It's about delivering prosperity for the middle class and supporting jobs. It's about helping American workers sell more of what they make and farmers to sell more of what they grow. And it's about eliminating unfair rules in other countries that discriminate against American workers and American jobs. Remember, the United States already has one of the most open markets in the world, but other countries maintain unfair barriers against American goods and services, barriers that trade agreements can reduce or even eliminate to make things fairer for America. That's why the United States is currently involved in negotiations with Europe and several nations in the Pacific, like Japan, in order to break down barriers to goods stamped "Made in America." That's the main point here. We want to knock down barriers to our goods stamped with "Made in America" to be sold in other countries. One estimate shows that trade agreements with Europe and the Pacific could support as many as 1.4 million additional jobs in our country, including over 18,000 in Kentucky alone. But in order to get there, we'll first need to lay down some clear and fair rules of the road for our trade negotiators. That's what the Bipartisan Congressional Trade Priorities and Accountability Act would do. Number one, it would make Congress priorities clear, issuing specific objectives for the administration's trade negotiators. Second, it would mandate transparency, forcing the administration to consult regularly with Congress and stakeholders. And it would reaffirm the supremacy of this body, requiring our explicit approval before trade agreements are enacted. The Bipartisan Congressional Trade Priorities and Accountability Act is good bipartisan legislation that was endorsed overwhelmingly in the Finance Committee 20-6. It's good for the middle class. It's good for manufacturing. And oh yes, it's very good for farmers. Here's what one Kentucky constituent, a corn, wheat, and soybean farmer from Spencer County, recently wrote to say on the issue, quote, "We need free trade to compete with grain farms in South America," he wrote. "Dozens of people have jobs as a direct result of our small business, input suppliers, truckers, mechanics, and traders, just to name a few." He went on, "Help me and all these people by expanding trade and consumption globally. Our future depends on it." Well, Mr. President, I couldn't agree more with that farmer from Spencer County. Our future does depend on cultivating better opportunities for American goods, American crops, and American workers in the 21st century. I look forward to the Senate turning to the Bipartisan Congressional Trade Priorities and Accountability Act very soon.